What was she doing at this point?
She's done this.
Was she? We'll go. All right. We're good? Hey, good morning, everybody. Mark McInerney, President and CEO of Codemark Financial, the mortgage genius. Welcome to today's episode of Music, Mortgages, and Life. I've got a co-host in here, as I mentioned that I would bring in here, Jennifer McCalman OBI with PAR3 Realty. She is the lead agent over in PAR3 Realty. And we've been talking all this week about renovations and remodeling, right? You know, we talked about the trend that is actually existing in just the sphere of home buyers and homeowners, and the percentage of them that over the next couple of years are going to be updating their houses. It's kind of the new thing, right? It's kind of the thing that HGTV is like brought to life to many of us. Is like, oh my God, I got a sledgehammer, I'm going to knock out some walls, or I want to put my own signature inside of this house. Well, when I came in here, I started telling you that there was money available to do this, okay? You don't have to go max out your credit cards. You can refinance your home if you're currently living in it, and also get these types of renovation type style loans. That's the money part. But what do you do once you have the money? You start obviously doing all the really cool, fun stuff that you want to do. And who better to give you kind of those advices? I had my wife Sarah tell you the flipping spectrum of the game, and I've got Jennifer in here to talk to you a little bit about, well, some of the things that are trending. Jennifer has got her hand on the pulse of a lot of cool things. She sees so many homes with the houses that she goes and helps buyers look for, or houses that are going to sell. And I thought I'd bring a professional in here to kind of say like what she's seeing out there, and she studies a lot of this stuff too. So Jennifer, welcome.
Hi, how are you guys? Thanks for having me. Okay,
so we were kind of talking about what they should update, right? So since you seem to, really always be like, oh, this is so cool, check this out, or you're like, that's not gonna last, I figured, well, where should they start? So I put this together. You said trends for either your home or flipping, because obviously that's gonna be different. Something that you like is not necessarily what everybody else is gonna like if you're gonna try to get rid of a property, so
that's very important to consider. So your home versus a flip. In your home, right now, paint, wallpaper, and floors are kind of the hot topics, and fixtures. So, and that's always kind of the hot topics, but things change over time, and color palettes and that sort of thing. So right now, the color palette that's really in style is gray. Gray and white, gray and black. Anything along that color spectrum. Now you have to consider that grays have a whole, you can do a cool gray and a warm gray. That's very different and very stylistic to homes. So if you have a more modern home, you might want a more cool, that modern color palette. If you don't like that modern color palette, and then you have more earthy tones and that sort of thing in your home, or if 5 years ago you had beige and brown furniture, then you're going to want more of a taupey gray. So those are things that are important to think about, as well as wallpaper. Wallpaper is very in style right now, and it can be really fun to add that pop of color or that pattern to a room. Even fabric wallpaper is in style. I love wallpaper. I love bright colors, but the bright floral wallpaper that I love is not going to be good for a flip.
Sure.
So, or if you're getting ready to sell your home. So you might still want to experiment with some of these trends in wallpaper, but you might want to start in a smaller space.
Sure.
So I might be getting ahead of myself here.
Okay.
But you might want to start more in an entryway or a half bathroom rather than doing your whole house in wallpaper, so you don't have to commit to it. The other things that are in style right now that change are fixtures. So your hardware on your doors, your fans, your light fixtures, those sort of things. You want to stay in tune with what's going on. Right now, brass is very in style. So a lot of people are kind of going that direction, getting rid of the chrome and the brushed steel, that look, to kind of update it with the brass. And then floors. So floors, considering your home versus a flip, the tile, the wood look tile, is very, very in style right now, and they've come a long way. So it used to be you could get this wood look tile that was only in like 2 variations of brown, and they were all the same length, and now it looks like actual real wood. And families are liking this right now, and it's becoming a trend because it's so much easier with dogs and children, and just the wear and tear on a house. So, and it's also not as expensive as hardwood floors, which is kind of the trend we're coming off of. So that's something to consider. And doing a flip, putting tile in is really great because it's something that does appeal to the masses.
Sure.
So, you know, you might want to go high end on your home, but on a flip, you might want
Not
to
so
go.
much.
Mhm.
Okay. You were talking about some of this now
Right.
already. So what are some of those, you know, I hear you talking with Sarah sometimes and even with, you know, some of your other clients, you know, like the hacks, right? The workarounds, like, you know, because the magazines always make things like, oh my God, I want that. And if it's a Martha Stewart, you know, it's got a Martha Stewart price tag and
Right.
all of the other Pottery Barns. I don't know any of this stuff.
Right.
So what are some of the...
So I'm sorry I got ahead of myself on some of the stuff, but you don't have to go high end, but I would look at the high end. So I would look at Veranda Magazine.
Okay.
I would look at, you spoke about HGTV earlier. That's a great resource to kind of see, but you'll have to remember that HGTV also has a lot of reruns. So you might be watching reruns from 5 years ago, and so you don't necessarily want to tie into what you're seeing on TV. Things you want to check out, up-to-date magazines, you want to check out Pinterest boards, different bloggers. There's great stylistic bloggers out there that you can check out, and just kind of watch what's consistent.
Sure.
And so you don't have to go high end. You can get something from a Home Depot. You know, there's beautiful. They see what the style is, and then they do it for a less expensive price.
Right.
So you can get a gorgeous backsplash that you know would be ordering from a design center, but actually a month later you're going to see it in Home Depot. So you can still get those updates at a local, more affordable price.
You had mentioned, like, rather than plastering the whole living room, perhaps sampling.
Yep. So wallpaper is really fun to just kind of try out in small areas because you don't need a whole room in wallpaper to make an impact. Wallpaper makes an impact even if it's a small print.
Okay.
And so like I was saying, in a flip, or if you're getting ready to sell your house, you want to go with a smaller, more neutral tone, but it still adds an impact to that area.
Sure.
And that's really nice to do, whether it's your own home or a flip.
Sure. And then really doing it yourself, right?
Right.
I mean, you're pretty handy, and you know, you do a lot of these things on your own.
Yep. So I'm here to tell you, you don't have to hire a contractor to change out your door handles, guys. You can do this yourself.
Right.
Your fans, you know, people think, oh, it's the electrical stuff, I don't want to touch that. It's not difficult. You turn off your breaker box and you follow the directions and you can do it yourself. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to pay a lot of money out of pocket just to make some small changes, because, you know, it is fun, and there are different things like the door handles might, like I was saying, brass is in right now. Well, brass might be out in a couple of years, but you don't want to make sure, or you don't want to use that huge investment when you want just a fun trend like that.
Sure.
So you can just do it yourself, and it saves a lot of money.
How do they determine whether or not if it's just something that is kind of like for the season?
So that's why you want to pay attention to the bloggers and the magazines and that sort of thing. So for example, last fall, violet was the color, and that is a great color. It was beautiful, rich velvets and that sort of thing were coming out in that color. But you're not going to paint your living room purple, and it's gonna, in 2 years, you're still gonna love it. So you want to stay with the more neutral, if it's logical, it makes sense to you, and you see it over a couple of months, it's going to stick around.
Got it.
If it's bold, bright colors, they might be beautiful, but you can do those in pillows or in throw blankets, that sort of thing. Accents, so you don't give the investment that you're going to be regretting later.
Lot less expensive to buy the pillows. And if you're selling, kind of back to being more
Neutral. So if you're selling, just like I was talking about with the flip, you just want to consider that you might have great style, but not everybody has your style. So you want to appeal to the masses. I love floral wallpaper, like I said earlier, but Mark might not like it, and I want him to like the house I'm selling. So, you know, you want to consider that your home is not just for you anymore. You're trying to get it to appeal to the masses. So you just want to stay as neutral as possible.
And Jennifer is very good at this, and this is, you know, kind of part of what she puts together with her listing presentations, and even just kind of giving the advice to home buyers that she has closed, like saying, hey, you know, here's, you know, some assistance. So be sure and leverage her knowledge in this space of what is trendy and what is not, if you will, for lack of better words. But anything else to give them?
No, it's great to, you know, go into a house with a realtor that knows that kind of thing,
Sure.
so you can talk about, you can have a vision. It's good to have somebody who also can see a vision to making that home your own. And
Awesome.
actually, one more thing we didn't
Sure.
touch on that I think is important. If you are getting ready to list your home, talk to your realtor about if it's worth it for you to make changes
Right.
in your home, because oftentimes you're going to make changes that other people aren't going to appreciate, and
Right.
so you're not going to get your money back from that. So you need to consider that when you're talking with your realtor about the home listing price and what changes need to be made
Sure.
in the home.
And they could just make the concession in the listing price
Right.
accordingly.
Right.
Got it. Good tip. Great
Yep.
tip. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, that's it for this week. We will come back in next week for, well, more music and more mortgages and more life stuff. I appreciate you for joining us while I've been out of town. I'm Art McInerney, President and CEO of Codemark Financial, the Mortgage Genius, with
Jennifer Obie.
PAR3 Realty. We'll see you.